Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So I'm going to be reviewing The Ghost in the Darkness from 1996, starring Val Kilmer, Michael Douglas, John Connie Thomas, or Tom Wilkinson, Emily Mortimer, Bernard Hill, and a slew of others. This movie is based on the true events of 1898, where two man-eating lions, at the time they were called man-eaters, stalked the railway of the area known as Tsavo and the River Tsavo. Val Kilmer's character, John Patterson, was tasked to build a railroad bridge over the river. And this story basically goes through the lion attacks and how it is handled. The acting in this movie is good in many ways and not so good in others. The character that Val Kilmer plays is Irish. Val Kilmer doing an Irish accent was not well done. Michael Douglas's character, Charles Remington, who comes in later in the latter half of the film, basically steals the performance of Val Kilmer. His character kind of overtakes Val Kilmer's character, which is not a good thing in most movies. Subjectively, I had no problem with it, but objectively, if a character that is limited in the movie overtakes the main character in popularity, that is not the best kind of thing to happen. So this does lose a little bit of points for that. The digital effects where the lions actually contact people, you could tell is very aged and it's not very well done. However, there are some shots where these lions are passing under shadows. Even when they're inserted, they show that they're passing under shadows, which is very accurate and very well done. The writing of this story and movie, I thought, was very well done. Tom Wilkinson's character, for small context of who Tom Wilkinson is, he played Carmine Falcone in Batman Begins. The mob boss that basically was a big problem in Gotham. Now, his character is just so hateful. You see him in the beginning and you see him in the middle of the movie. And believe me, you love to hate him, but he is unapologetic and admittedly a monster of a character in this movie. Even though he's not really in the movie a lot. John Connie, who plays Samuel, who, for greater context, also played T'Chaka, the Black Panther's father in the MCU, plays Samuel, an aide to Val Kilmer in this movie. His character is one of the more complex, and I absolutely love it. You know some stuff about him, but you also his character just has, you care for him. And I gotta say that is a very well done acting job as well. Bernard Hill from Lord of the Rings, who played Theoden, is also in this movie. And he did a wonderful job as the Doctor. Emily Mortimer, who plays Helena Patterson, I thought was a very good character. But knowing that this movie was based off of a true story, that these lions did exist, that these events happened, and to see them put in a movie form, even if they are loosely interpreted and exaggerated, possibly, I think is still well done. If you want to see these lions, you're going to see a major difference when you look at the real lions that are in the Field Museum in Chicago. Look up online the Man-Eaters of Tsavo, Tsavo, and you should be able to find them easily. Now, one thing you will notice is that these lions that were killed in real life are male lions. They just don't have manes. They were maneless lions. In the movie, they have manes, but that only adds to the menace of how they look. And believe me, this movie's cinematography, the close-up zooms that they have of the lions roaring, the sound of the lions roaring is almost very visceral, but also almost unlike a lion. it almost sounds demonic, almost. And I really love that because they are trying to sell that these lions are unlike lions. And they are known as the Ghost and the Darkness. These lions killed 130 people. That's on record. And when Patterson killed them, he held their remains for a while until he finally sold them to the Field Museum in Chicago. As well, and the skulls are also there. And it is an interesting story that is told. As for the acting and whatnot that is done by the movie itself and the objective quality, one thing I did like, it was a very interesting score. And I'm going to check who composed this right now because it just sounded... Who was the composer? Jerry Goldsmith. Okay, so he actually did the score for this movie. Jerry Goldsmith is a freaking legend. Rambo and many, many others. Now, the wonderful thing of how he composed this music, he added African music along with a little bit of an Irish twist and mix in with the African, plus the normal kind of score. And I gotta say that it was very well done. I honestly have not heard a bad score from Jerry Goldsmith. You really honestly, if you look or if you listen to his music, you rarely ever hear a bad score. And this one is no exception. He has a great score in this one as well. However, the digital effects are outdated because, well, they definitely couldn't have real lions chasing after people, so they had to insert the lions later on. But they do a wonderful job having shadows pass over the digital lions, or the inserted lions. They're digitally inserted. And the quality of this movie doesn't suffer too bad because of that. I mean, yes, you could definitely see that when a lion jumps up to attack somebody or comes into contact with somebody, you do see how it does kind of skew out of out of phase for a little bit. But that is something that just couldn't be helped, especially during the 90s. I think that this movie was well done for its time, but objectively, without bias, I put it at maybe a 7.5 out of 10. There are problems with it. Val Kilmer is unable to do an Irish act or an Irish brogue very well, so that is one of the bigger problems of it. Some of the acting and side characters and whatnot could have been done a little better. This movie does have pacing issues, but overall it is a solid film. It does get a pass. Subjective, I enjoyed it thoroughly. It's a 9 out of 10. A little bit of the pacing does bother me. I feel that instead of an hour 49, this movie could have been an hour or take off like a few minutes here and there, and it still wouldn't have harmed the movie at all. There's just a couple of things that just didn't really feel like they needed to be put in the movie, you know? Moviegoer, it's 10 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, that's going to wrap up this video. I really do recommend The Ghost in the Darkness if you haven't seen it. It's a good movie. Even today, it doesn't hold up digitally, but it still does hold up as a good story. And for those who complain, there's not enough representation, this movie is actually very diverse. I mean, yes, it's lacking a female element, but it does have a female character in it, but only because the story does not dictate a woman being in the movie. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. But I really do enjoy this movie. Anyway, folks, that is going to be the video. It is a longer review, I know, but there was just much that I wanted to go over about it. And I truly enjoyed this movie. Anyway, folks, you all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Did you like this movie? Did you hate it? What was your thoughts on it? What did you think of the acting? all that stuff. This has been Orange Hat Reviews. Stay humble.